Hello, I'm Daryl Lesak, Director of Environmental Services with the City of Victoria, and I'm here today to talk to you about some changes to our recycling program. The two biggest changes have been the fact that we will no longer be accepting glass products, and we will only be accepting plastics 1 and plastics 2. Plastics 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will no longer be accepted as part of our program. Over the past 2 years, the commodities market has really faced a large downturn. And so those commodities, especially your plastics and your glass, have really lost value. And in order to keep a viable and affordable program, we have to make some changes in the program to be able to keep the program going at the cheapest rate possible, but still pick up as many things as we can. And plastics 1 and 2 are your highest rated plastics. They're the easiest to recycle. They're the best quality of recycled goods. So we want to keep those in our recycle stream, but when you start dealing with the 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, so such things as styrofoam and plastic plates, those types of things are not valued very high and a lot harder to get rid of. Glass, over the last couple of years, glass was never a very good product, but it's something that everyone wants to recycle, and we've done that for the last 4 years, but it's gotten to the point now we're having a hard time getting rid of the glass. So at this point, we're going to stop taking that as well. And our hopes is that within time, we'll be able to start accepting these products again as the market starts to rebound. The things that we still accept in the program are, of course, as I mentioned, the plastics 1 and 2. We still take tin, aluminum, so all of your cans, soda cans, your vegetable cans that you get from the grocery store. We still take your papers, so your newspapers, your junk mail, types of things like that. We still take cardboard. There are still a large number of items that can be recycled as part of our program and still keep our program viable. So what I have here are some examples of some plastics that are recyclable. You know, we ask people to check on the bottom of each container. You'll see the chasing triangles, and what you're looking for is a number 2 or a number 1 in the middle of that triangle, and that will tell you that it's recyclable. If it has a 3 through 7, it will not be. So soda bottles, so if you buy, you know, your favorite soda or water at the store, all of those bottles are recyclable as a number 1 or a number 2. Milk jugs are considered recyclable as well. Now, if you've got food containers that are really flimsy, those food containers will not be recyclable. You're not going to find a chasing arrow on a lot of those. If you find a chasing arrow and there's no number in the middle of it, it's not recyclable. Plastic bags, such as the bags that you receive at some of the stores here in town, the problem with these plastic bags is that as they go through the recycling MRFs, what happens is the bags tend to hang up in the system and then cause shutdowns in the systems. When you come up with these plastic bags that you get, please take them back to the stores. These are not acceptable as part of our program. Please do not put them in your cart. Other items that aren't recyclable, of course, is styrofoam. Styrofoam has not been a part of our program since we began the program back in 2012 and still will not be. Other items, solo cups, or any type of plastic cup like this. Again, check the chasing arrows. You're looking at a 6. This cup is a 6, so it's not a 1 or a 2. It's not a part of our program. Plastic dishes such as this, colored plastic dishes, toys. We see a lot of toys come through the recycle center are also not recyclable. Plastic plates. A lot of people will take a look at their plastic utensils and, well, it's plastic. And what we have to do is we have to look at these plastic items like this and please check for the arrows and make sure that it's a 1 or a 2 and not a 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Plastic bags show up in our recycle stream, and these are not recyclable. Although they may have partially been made of plastic, they contain other things such as fabric and insulation and different other types of material that are not a recyclable product as part of our program. So these types of items that I've just shown will go into your gray cart as garbage. Cardboard, when we talk about cardboard, some people believe we're talking about corrugated cardboard only. but we're not. We're talking about boxes that contain other food products, boxes that your 12-pack of sodas or other beverages come in. Those are recyclable. They can be placed in your recycle container. Glass jars such as this or other types of glass are not considered recyclable as part of our program any longer. So please, all glass jars, whether they contain food or any other type of glass, bottles, jars, pitchers, mirrors, any types of items like that are not recyclable as part of our program and need to go in the gray cart as trash. At the environmental department, we get a lot of questions, and there are some misconceptions on how our recycling program works as far as the products that we pick up and what happens with those products. And it's a pretty simple process. The City of Victoria services each home every other week and picks up the recyclables that are in your container. We go to a local facility that is operated by Waste Management, and we dump those commodities that we had picked up from your recycling container there. Waste Management then picks those items up and loads them into a compactor where the product is taken and compacted into a fairly large brick, for lack of a better term, and then trucked to Houston to a recycling materials recovery facility or recycling MRF. As they arrive at the MRF, they're dumped out onto the ground again, and then they're pushed onto a conveyor belt of sorts that goes through a system of lasers, air, gravity, and different things are put together that are set to pull out different size containers, different weight containers, and containers that are made out of either metal or aluminum or plastic. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, a lot of this was done by hand. Now it's done through machinery. And so that's where some of these things cause problems. When you've got machinery and you're pulling through a lot of the grocery bags, for instance, they tend to hang up on equipment and then cause downtime while they're being cleaned from that equipment. As they go through the process, things are separated out. Your aluminum goes one direction, your tin another, and when they come out the other end of the plant, what you have is they will come out and be bundled into bales of aluminum, bales of tin, bales of cardboard, paper, and plastic, and the plastic will be separated ones and twos. Those bales are then loaded on trucks and shipped mostly overseas. Some of that is used in the United States, but it's shipped from that point on trucks that is completely separated. And with the facilities we have nowadays, that comes out usually about 97% clean, usable, separated product. Why do we take some things and we not take some things? Pizza boxes comes up quite often. And people ask, well, why won't you take pizza boxes? The problem that we face with pizza boxes is that they have grease on them. These items are being picked up at your house and being dumped into the truck. They're being compacted, so they're being compressed. And as they're compressed, any food or grease that's on that pizza box can leach out of that pizza box and then contaminate other items that are around that pizza box in that truck. We don't require, as part of our program, that we wash out every container, but every container needs to be completely empty. So if you're throwing away a ketchup bottle that's got a third of its content still within the bottle and it gets compacted, that could ruin a whole yard of recyclable materials, because now as that ketchup bottle gets compressed and compacted in that truck, it explodes, spraying ketchup all over all of the recyclables that are around it, and now turning that good recyclable product into a contaminated product that has to be thrown away and not able to be recycled. What's important to remember is that it's not sorted here in Victoria. Our facility here is just a collection facility for it then to be loaded and shipped to where it will be sorted in Houston. If you've got a container that has a little bit of ketchup per se or something like that in the bottom, we would ask that you rinse it out. If we're gonna have some type of contaminant in there, we'd rather it be good clean water than some type of material, because depending on what water gets on, it may not contaminate the load. If you get ketchup on it, it will contaminate the load. There's a difference between water and what would be considered contamination, such as foodstuffs or chemicals. Cardboard with a few spots of water is not going to be considered contaminated, where cardboard with spots of ketchup would be. As we go to the recycle center and we start to look through the products that we get, and we do audits almost weekly on what comes through, because we want to stay on the front edge of this and try and keep the contamination under control. We see some really strange and sometimes funny things at the recycle center, and just to name a few, and I'm not sure how people get these in their carts. We've had whole car tires come in with the rim still on them. We've had ice chests come in. I'm not sure, I guess because the ice chest is plastic on the outside, but it is styrofoam on the inside. Food stuff is always amazed me how people possibly mistake the green cart for the gray cart and put food in there, but we end up with all kinds of food from time to time, and that really causes a problem, because we're hoping to dump clean products and we end up with lots of flies and different things that we're not really prepared to deal with at a recycle center. Toys. We could almost provide Christmas to a lot of people with all the toys that we get in there. A lot of those toys are made of plastic and metal. However, they're not a plastic that's recyclable, and it's not a metal that's part of our program. Yard waste always amazes me. We provide yard waste every week. It's the same day as your garbage day for most people. Some people it's a different day, but we pick it up every week. Yet yard waste continues to show up in recycled containers. Christmas trees. We found a lot of Christmas trees stuffed into recycled containers, both artificial and real. So water hoses seem to keep turning up, and I think some of the strangest things is we've seen whole swimming pool liners. So if your swimming pool explodes in your backyard, please put that in your garbage can, not your recycle can. Although it is a type of plastic, it is not a recyclable type of plastic as part of our program. Those are the things that we need to stop from coming through the recycle center. The last thing I would like to do is thank people for the participation. We've seen a 70% participation rate, pretty much a steady 70% participation rate since about a year after the program started. For the first year, we were actually close to 90% most of that year, and we knew that it would level out at some point. Never did we think that we would maintain a 70% participation rate 4 years down the road, going into the 5th year of our program. I want to thank people, because the majority of the recyclables that we get, it is done right, it is good, clean, recyclable. It's just those few things that end up in there by some people who may not understand the program completely that can tend to cause issues at the recycle center or with a recycle load. So we do appreciate everything everyone's doing to make this a successful program. We do appreciate the participation, and we will continue to make changes to this program to keep it viable, to make it as affordable as possible, because we think at the City of Victoria it's a very important program that the city offers, and it is our hope to keep this program going for a long time into the future. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact us at 485-3230, or you can go to our website at victoriatx.org, click on the environmental link and go to the recycling page. We can answer all your questions there, or you can call us, either way. But we want to work with you to make this a successful program and keep it going well into the future.